Hello and welcome to my video on psychological skills for assignment 4. This is your final assignment and it enables you to play the role of a sports psychologist. And within that role of a sports psychologist, what I need you to do is complete the task sheets. There's 4 task sheets. And once you've completed those 4 task sheets, you put them into a Word document. So for instance, a performance profile, you can take a screen print of that and put it into a Word document. So effectively, it's 4 tasks, and those 4 tasks, you need to develop an understanding of the role of a sports psychologist. So the first task we done in class was a psychological profile where you marked yourselves or your partner out of 10 for each of those categories. So you need that in your assignment. You need to also the psychological demand sheet. That sheet effectively is the task where on the left hand side you write all the psychological variables. So you fill in that sheet. If, for instance, one of the variables is confidence, you need to explain what confidence is. So you'd sort of something along the lines of confidence is needed in sport. It's important because it helps you to focus and direct your actions. But you all then also need to say what is high confidence, what is low confidence. And then in the strengths and weaknesses, you have to say when that performer, whether that's an elite performer or somebody in your group or whoever that is, when confidence for them was very high. And you give examples. For example, when they were playing cricket, they kept on scoring more than 50 runs for 5-6 innings, and that meant their confidence levels grew. Or if they were a footballer, they kept on scoring every game for 5, 6, 7 games, so confidence was high. But then you give an example of when confidence was a weakness, and it might be that, for instance, they had an injury. When they came back, they had a reoccurrence of that injury or a little injury which put them off, and therefore they were in and out of the team, and therefore their confidence levels dropped, or they missed a penalty, or they got out in cricket before they had actually scored any runs. That sheet then requires all the psychological factors, not just confidence. There's others like mental toughness, self-talk, focus, imagery. So you put those in that sheet. So you got 2 sheets. First one is a performance profile. The second one is a psychological skill sheet. The third one is goal setting. So what you have to do is, based on the first 2 sheets, is use the goal setting matrix and set a plan of action for these for this performer. If you look at the goal setting matrix, requires you to have 3 mental goals, 3 physical goals, 3 technical goals, 3 nutritional goals. So make sure you fill that sheet in, stating what the goals are. And then when it comes to your 6-week training plan, you use the first 3 tasks I've just told you about, and you put them into the plan. So you don't just copy and paste them into a plan. You basically say, now I'm going to design this 6-week training plan for my performer, and this is how their performance levels will benefit. These are their strengths, and this is what they're going to look at. So, instance, if it was for me, I'd probably expect myself to look at goal setting as one of the skills. Imagery could be another one. Self-talk could be another one. And for the 6 weeks, I do 2 weeks of goal setting, 2 weeks of imagery, 2 weeks of self-talk. But what you have to do, dependent on the grades you want, if you describe the 6-week plan, you'll get a pass. If you explain it with examples, you will get a merit. So for instance, if it's goal setting in the 6-week plan, and the suggestion is that I set goals 3 a game, and if I meet those, my motivation levels will increase. For example, when playing football, I set myself a target of 70% completion rate of crosses. Well, if I keep getting that every game, then I met my goal. So that's how you have to plan that. So you do that for 6 weeks plan. For pass, it's describe. For merit, it's explain. For a distinction, though, you have to look at the strengths of these skills in the 6-week plan. What are their limitations? What are the possible barriers? And what are the ways to overcome those barriers? So for a distinction, we require a lot more depth. You've got to analyze this plan. You've got to say how that plan will help the performer. So though I want you to talk about goal setting and its strengths and limitations, those are got to be linked to the client. Okay. So in summary, there's 4 tasks. Task 1 is a performance profile of a client. Task 2 is the psychological factors that affect their performance. Explain all the psychological factors on the left-hand side of the sheet. When you talk about strengths and weaknesses of those, you need to say what are the strengths of that person. So if in that psychological task sheet you're talking about confidence, what is confidence? How is it a strength for that performer? When was it a weakness? Then you do the goal setting sheet. You set those 12 goals, 3 for each area: mind, physical, technical, nutritional. And then you do the 6-week plan, where you can use 3 skills, or you can use 6 skills, you can use 4 skills. It's entirely up to you, so long as you fill that in. But to get a distinction, you have to analyze it. You have to talk about the strengths and limitations of the skills, and then the strengths and limitations to the performer. What if things don't work? What is plan B? How will it benefit the performer? And what do they need to do? And things like that. If you've got any questions, post them on the Teams app. I am available today and tomorrow. So good luck with it. And if there's any questions, please continue to ask. Thank you.